Welcome back to r/EntitledPeople, where we read stories about entitlement that will infuriate you. If you are new to my channel, please feel free to subscribe as I upload daily content and we would love to see you in our community. Without any further ado, let's dive right in. And the first one was posted by user EPH on our own subreddit and is titled, "You had a heart attack? Pay me now anyway." This happened 5 years ago, so it is not word for word, but it is accurate as far as what was basically said. The cast is me and L for Landlord. I was renting from a landlord who was extremely selfish. The day my rent was due 1 month, I ended up having a mild heart attack and was unable to drop off the rent. After I was cared for at the hospital and was told I was being admitted, I texted the landlord to explain why I could not bring the rent by that night. I did not get a reply that night, but I did get a text the next day. Landlord: "When will you be paying your rent?" Me: "I'm still in the hospital. I don't know when I will be released. I had a mild heart attack, I'm still on a heart monitor and having tests." No reply. The next day I got another text. Landlord: "So when will you pay your rent?" Me: "As soon as I can. I have the money, but I'm still in the hospital." No reply until that evening. Landlord: "I want the rent money tonight. You need to drop it off now." Me: "I cannot. I'm still in the hospital." Landlord: "Can you have someone drop it off?" Me: "It is in the bank. No one else has access to the account and the stress of you constantly asking can give me another heart attack right now. There's nothing I can do." No word until the next day. I had just been released from the hospital and was on my way home. L, Karen, not her real name, and I are going away on Wednesday. This was Monday. "But if you don't pay the rent by Wednesday morning, I will be filing to have you evicted." Not legal, you have to be a minimum of 2 weeks late before they can file. Me: "I'm on my way home from the hospital. I can pay today." Since they lived in the lower apartment of our 2-apartment building, I was able to pay as soon as I got home. When I paid, he said it was my fault he was 3 months behind on his mortgage payment. How my being a couple of days late with the rent put him 3 months behind on the mortgage payment is beyond me. But then again, this guy also once blamed me for the main circuit breaker for his apartment getting shut off, even though I could prove I was in a town half an hour away when it happened. But that is another story. Guys, I'm curious, do you also have these people in your life that always blame you for everything? Let us know in the comments, and while you're at it, please don't forget to post some star emojis in the comments and also like the video if you would like to support me. All help is very much appreciated, thank you so much. And the next one was posted by user Stacy Rose and is titled, "I'm sorry, but you cannot have my mask." Yes, this is exactly like the title says, and I'm surprised that people can be this stupid. So I went to Walmart to pick up some essentials I need at home, food, cat food, toilet paper and other things you usually need, and I figured I would be safe and wear my cat mask I have. It is a dust cover you can buy online that has a cute cat mouth on it. It covers my nose and mouth. I figured because of this whole pandemic going on, it's better safe than sorry. I knew I needed some things for the house to get me through the week, so I decided to hit up Walmart since it is convenient. I get to the store and there are signs everywhere telling people to stay 6 feet apart. In certain aisles there are signs limiting customers to how many of that item they can get, which is understandable with how all the hoarders have been doing things. I am just picking up my things, minding my own business and hoping I can get out of there quickly and head back home to relax. I already had helped out my elderly neighbors, but I did not have the money to get my own stuff, so I figured I would go shopping when my unemployment went through. Sucks being out of work because of this thing. When in the aisle with the noodles, pasta, spaghetti sauce and whatnot, this lady kept glaring at me, but I just kept ignoring her, trying to maintain my distance from other people. This lady just kept glaring at me and I was starting to get uncomfortable, so I started to head out of the aisle after I grabbed a box of elbow macaroni. As I started to leave the aisle, she stomps up to me and literally tried to rip my mask off my face. I was shocked. I was like, "What the hell, lady? Back off!" And she glared at me and said, "Give it to me." I just looked at her and said, "What?" She again tried to rip my mask off my face, tearing it a little where it is held up by my ears.
give it now.
I looked at her, backed up and said, "I'm sorry, but you cannot have my mask," and turned around to go to the other direction. She screamed. I mean, she literally really loudly screamed. I looked at her and said, "Lady, are you crazy?" She stopped screaming long enough to say,
"Give it to me, I will tell the manager you stole it from me."
I just laughed and said, "Yep, you're stupid," and again turned around and walked away. I managed to get away from her out of the aisle, but something in me told me that it was not over. I continued my shopping, grabbing what I needed here and there, and headed to the front end. I went to one of the self-checkouts when I heard her voice again.
"There's the girl that stole my face mask,"
she screamed. I looked up and just laughed. I mean, how crazy was this? Why on earth would someone want a mask that someone else was wearing on their face? That is just crazy, and with all that is going on, it is a bit disgusting. The man standing next to her just looked at her and said, "I saw her come in wearing that mask," and he walked away from her. I guess this crazy lady did not like that and started screaming really loud again. A full-on temper tantrum, like she is a 3-year-old screaming. People were staring at her. The man that walked away from her just walked to the service desk and said something to the employees there. Another man, whom I know is one of the managers, walked up to the lady and said, "Ma'am, you're causing a scene. Please leave." She stopped screaming long enough to stomp her foot and said loudly,
"But I did not do anything. I want that mask."
She sounded like a child as she said this while pointing at me. I finished paying and walked up to her and the manager and repeated myself. "I'm sorry, but you cannot have my mask, and before you say anything you can order one just like it online." If you would have asked me where I got it, I could have told you the website, but since you are acting like a 3-year-old, I'm gonna let you stew. Have a good day and stay healthy," I cheerfully said as I walked away from her and the manager. I heard the manager tell her to leave the store again as I was leaving. Now, this mask, it's a simple one and it is pretty cheap. I bought it online on eBay for under $5, and if you do a search online for dust covers or face masks and the style you want, you can get one pretty cheap too. Or you can get the materials and make your own. I did not feel like sewing, so I bought this one because it was cute and I like having a mask that makes me look like I have a cat's mouth. I just don't understand what was going on in that lady's mind. Maybe she has some mental problems. I don't know, but it's not safe to wear someone else's mask, especially with everything that is going on right now. I probably did not handle the situation well, but I just wanted to get my groceries and go home without any more crap. I know they simply could have checked the cameras they had there if worse came to worse, but I really did not want to wait around and see what else they would do. She must not have read the signs that said to please stay 6 feet apart. And guys, I'm curious, how many of you wear a mask when you go outside? Let me know in the comments. And once again, also thank you to everyone who is still posting on r/ripe stories. I really appreciate the dedication and the awesome stories. And the next one was posted by our favorite entitled diva Mama-san on our own subreddit and is titled "This entitled diva almost made a Texas state trooper cry." As usual, Ripe has full rights to this. Back ages ago, don't ask, I got my driving permit to learn to drive. My mom decided to take me out in her car and it was a stick shift. I did a little grinding of the gears as mom had me back out of the driveway, just missed the mailbox, drive to one end of our block, turn around, only hit the curbs 2 times, drive back to our house and pull into the driveway, just tap the trash cans and park. Mom demanded the keys and walked slowly into the house with me, right on her heels. As soon as she saw my dad, she ordered him to make her a double vodka martini and he had to teach me. Dad took over and trained me as if I was one of his sailors, which meant lots of barked orders. I seemed to do well enough with this method that Dad gave permission for me to drive by myself only on the military base we lived in. Somehow I tended to see a few military police trucks when practicing driving. Of course, this could be from driving my dad's joke of a staff car, a mini 3-wheel truck that is normally seen about runways. When I finally turned 16 and could try for a full driving license, I pestered my parents for weeks. After my mom said she would not ride in any car with me behind the wheel unless I had a proper license, my dad gave me a smirk and told me I would have to wait until he had an afternoon off and he would take me. The great day came, and after lunch my dad drove me to the DMV. I was so happy I was bouncing. The clerk smiled when she gave me the test. I passed with a perfect score. Then I turned to the Texas state trooper and said that I am ready for my driving test. I was too excited to notice that he went 4 shades paler. He repeatedly asked me if I would rather test another day. I almost pulled him to our car. I did everything he asked without making a mistake. However, he had a white knuckle grip on the clipboard. He got out of the car, shaking a bit, and let me back in and told the clerk I had passed. He then just about collapsed in a chair and while looking at the clock said, "Thank God I get off in less than an hour." I got my license and proudly drove home. At home I asked my dad if he knew why the trooper acted so strange. It was Friday the 13th. Thank you very much for the once again awesome story, Mama-san. And now to the audience, I'm curious how many of you can drive stick shift. As far as I'm aware, automatic cars are really common in the US, so I'm curious how many of you can still drive the other ones. In addition, how much have you paid to get your driving license? Believe it or not, in most parts of Europe it's really expensive to get your driving license. As an example, personally I paid around 1,300 euros, which is like $1,500. And the next one was once again posted by Mama-san and is titled Best Entitled Excuse for Jury Duty. First and second jury duty, funny. Hi there, about 3 decades ago I was called to jury duty. When I reported early Monday morning, I was shocked at the wild things people said trying to get out of duty. My turn came and I was called to sit in front of the lawyers. Every question asked I answered honestly. Name, married, unemployed, no kids, do not read paper, /watch news. It was strange seeing lawyers look at me like I look at chocolate. Also, the look of disappointment when I was placed in a simple traffic case, instead of one of the 2 murder cases. The case just took a little while and I went home in time to cook dinner. As I left, a few of the other lawyers pointed me out and I saw quite a few making notes while looking my way. Very strange. Second call to jury was not allowed to give any excuse to not show. Monday was insane. Due to multiple big trials and media all over, prospective jurors had to report to the clerk's office. As I tried to make my way into the office through all the crowd, I saw quite a few lawyers take notice of me. Some I even remembered from the trial I served in a few years ago. After 30 minutes I was called up to the clerk to report for jury duty. The harassed clerk, without looking up, asked why I was there. I stated my name and that I was reporting for jury duty while handing over my summons and my driver's license. The clerk looked up to confirm my identity and got a funny look on their face. I thought they were going to have a seizure. Struggling to almost breathe, the clerk told me to wait right there. The clerk ran to the back to the judge's office. 5 minutes later, the clerk returned with 2 judges. Very loudly, the clerk informed the 2 judges that I was reporting for jury duty. Everyone in that office turned to look at me. My clothes were nice but rumpled. My hair was haphazardly pulled in a ponytail. I had an enormous diaper bag on my shoulder and was holding the hand of a small toddler with a small infant strapped to my chest. All the staff started smiling and the 2 judges had a playful shoving fight over who got to sign my papers to excuse me from jury duty. As I walked out, some man said that I had the best excuse to get out of jury duty he had ever seen and high-fived me. By the way guys, please let me know in the comments if you are still interested in hearing entitled people's stories. As you might know, I only read these when I see them on my own subreddit or when I see really good ones on the public subreddits, but of course I don't read these as frequently as in the past. And the last one was posted by Crazy Aussie Pagan, also on our own subreddit, and is titled Social distancing is harder than I thought when self-entitled people are involved. I was out at my local footy field / park / community center yesterday morning walking my fur child to get some much needed exercise during this time of self-enforced isolation due to the virus situation. Usually I prefer to walk Princess Angel before 9 AM because that is the quietest time to do it, as there are usually only joggers or cyclists around at that time. But I had slept in and my back, I live with severe chronic back pain, was causing me issues due to being so physically isolated. So I did not get to the park until 10 AM. Princess Angel loves her walks and is always eager to be let off leash if there's no one around, especially no other dogs because she can get a bit snarky at them. So I'm usually prepared to let her off leash as soon as we reach the edge of the footy field. The cast is me, the crazy Aussie pagan who has no tolerance for children or their entitled parents, Princess Angel, my 10-year-old Maltese / Shih Tzu fur child, who loves the attention from children but does not realize that it is not a good time right now. She is also my mental health companion, entitled girl 1, around 7 years old and annoying as hell, entitled girl number 2, around 5 years old and a crier and screamer, and entitled mother, just a weird woman who thinks she deserves anything she wants. Now on to the show. No sooner do I bend down to unclip her leash from her harness and I hear high-pitched squeals and see 2 girls around 5 to 7 running towards me screaming puppy. I keep her leash on her and turn to walk away from them, not wanting them anywhere near me, not just because of social distancing, but also because I don't like children and I also don't let children pet Princess Angel without permission from their parent or adult in charge of them at the time. I see this as a sensible safety technique to protect myself from any lawsuit if a child upsets my fur child and gets a nip. She has never shown aggression towards a child, but best to play it safe. Both girls reach me and I put my hand up and call to them, "Stop where you are, turn around and go back to your mom please." They don't stop but keep coming to me, bending down to pet Princess Angel, squealing. I bend down, pick up my fur child and say again, "Go back to your mom, you cannot pet my dog." I turn around and walk away from them again, and after around 10 meters I put my fur child back down so she can walk. Then I see the mother approaching me with a daughter in each hand and a furious look on her face. I pick up Princess Angel again and go to walk towards the car park and exit of the park. But unfortunately, they reach me before I get off the footy field. Entitled mother,
How dare you not let my daughters play with your dog?
Me, please move away from me. I don't let children pet my girl without their parents' verbal permission directly to me. Entitled mother butts in before I can finish my sentence.
I give them permission. Put your dog down so my daughters can play with her.
Turns to her girls.
Have fun.
I don't put my girl down but continue what I was saying before I was rudely interrupted. Due to social distancing rules, I don't allow anyone to pet her. Now please move away from me, turn around and walk away. Both girls start reaching for Princess Angel, who is in my arms, trying to pull her out of them. Entitled girl number 1 squealing at me,
"I want to play with her. Can I take her home?"
Me trying to edge away from them so they can get a hold of my girl. "No, go away now, get away from me." Entitled girl number 2 crying and sitting on the wet grass.
"Mommy, she is mean. I want the puppy."
Throwing a full tantrum on the ground. Entitled mother,
Give my girls your dog in payment for your rudeness. They deserve her more than you do.
Me, I'm not the one being rude at the moment. You are being rude by demanding my dog, invading my personal space and not paying attention to the social distancing rules set by the government to try to curb the spread of this virus. Now, please leave me alone before I do get rude. This revolting woman gets closer to me and sneers,
How insulting! My girls are not sick. Now give me your dog.
I look her in the eye while holding tight to my fur child, trying to twist and turn to prevent these children from grabbing her. Get your crotch goblins away from me now and get your own skanky ass away from me. I then cuff in her direction, not on her, while my fur child is in my arms and a look of horror spreads across her face and she grabs both of her girls and drags them away from me while they scream about how much they want the puppy. I get out of there fast and get home. No more walking after 9 AM, I plan on avoiding others as much as possible. Oh, and I don't have the virus and did not cough on her, just in her direction. And last but not least, a picture of my Princess Angel. I use pet-safe hair products on her for anyone concerned with such things. And with that, we have reached the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed today's content, and if you did, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel to join our amazing community. Furthermore, don't forget to go to r/ripe stories on Reddit to post your own stories if you want me to read them out in a video. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I see you again tomorrow.